How is it going, YouTube? Malagant here. So we are going to be talking about the Tenet right over here, the Branded Burst. That is very overpowered in my opinion, and I do believe that like in near future it's going to be getting nerfed because it's absolutely insane. But right now, if you would like to have some sort of like a defensive click for your character, if you would like to go for it, definitely go for it. This is something that I just recently, figured out the other day while I was streaming. I read through like, especially the big nodes, these notables we could call them. I read through like the outermost circle since they were not in the beta. Try to like figure out what I would like on my characters. So far I have two characters. One of them is like a caster, the other one is like a sort of like a hybrid, sort of like a, this one is the hybrid one actually, sort of like a melee caster. It actually looks so flashy and it plays very good as well. But I'm going to be coming up with like videos where like I'm talking about the characters that I made and how the build works and how to level them up all at the same time in my channel. If you would like to check that out, definitely check the channel out. But again, so about this Tenet, what does it do? Basically, in my opinion, you should take like this little modifier next to it as well if you're going for it, which I think like almost every character should go for it right now because it's absolutely broken in all fairness. What it does is that like you have 5 slots basically, and you're getting 1 Tenet every 2.5 seconds when you don't take a damage, right? Any damage at all. And then so it just stacks up to 5, and then every time you take a hit you lose 1 Tenet. So if you take this little modifier as well, every single Tenet is capable of blocking 20% damage. That means that like if you have all the Tenets up, you are going to be blocking the next hit. You're completely going to be mitigating the next hit. And guess what, like unless you take 5 hits all consecutively, all in like 2 seconds or something, then you most likely not gonna take almost any damage at all, or even if you take, they're going to be like heavily mitigated by Tenets, and then the next 2 seconds you'll probably like regenerate another Tenet anyways. So well, how this plays, especially just because of like how the game works right now, is that like most of the time you end up not taking like any damage at all, and it is really awkward, to be honest with you. That is very cool. So the Tenet bar is right over here. We have like 5 Tenets. I just took an arrow. I'm still 7500 HP. Just trying to pay attention, like what is killing these things is funny actually. So just look at my like Tenet bar. We have like 5 of them. Let's go like take a hit. For instance, like this thing right over here is gonna explode on my face, right? Boom, it explodes. I'm still 7500, and then I have my Tenet back. It's kind of a weird ability. It's kind of like a weird passive, and the most important part about this is that you don't necessarily need to pay any attention at all. Just need to like build up to the Tenets, and then afterwards it's going to be doing its thing passively. You literally need to be standing on top of a fire or something for this thing to be like absolutely useless, so that like you take damage ticks every single second. Even then, to be honest with you, it's going to be reducing the damage that you would take otherwise by incredible margin. Also, one more thing that I can tell you is that most of the time these little modifiers that I have seen on like these big notables, they were really questionable. Like I usually check the modifiers and I'm like well, look at this, for instance, +1 stamina. I'm like, should I really take this? I probably shouldn't, but when I moused over this is just so big. Like even if it was only 15% alone without a modifier over here, it would have been still extremely big with like 75% damage reduction. In my opinion, it should never be able to reach 100, but that is another thing. Right now it is in the game. If you would like to use it, definitely go ahead and check it out. Thank you for watching the video. There are going to be like a lot more Wolcen content coming up on your way. As I said, like the most that I'm looking forward to is just about like talking about how to level characters, how to have a strong character instead of giving like a direct build. I will most likely do that too, but instead of giving a direct build, I could maybe mention the bread and butter of the game, most of the things that you should consider while making a build, so that like you could actually come up with something good for yourself, for your liking as well, instead of just following a guide blindly. Because as far as I can tell, the game is not as complicated as something like Path of Exile when you're jumping into it without any clue at all. So that's a good part of the game, in my opinion. Even though there's like a passive tree like this, it's very easy to like start from the beginning and say that, okay, this is for melee, I am melee, let's just go here. You know what I mean? There's a lot more simpler in this game for sure. Catch you later on, bros. Bye bye.